right, Jay, you ready, baby? All right, man.
Let's go, Jay!
And do you know that you're a misfit?
No.
You don't know that?
No, I don't.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It takes a misfit to know misfit, Ed. Since the age of 6, I've been called a misfit. I connected with Bruce yesterday. He's a misfit. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah.
And to prove to myself this morning that I am a misfit, as we are doing this power, I'm smarter than everyone else because I'm not even going to look. I'm not even going to trust my peripheral vision. I'm going to count steps like blind people do. I'm going to count them back. As I was walking back this morning, my eyes caught the gaze of the person across the circle. And next thing I know, I'm sitting right down here. My mentor told me when I was 19 years old, he said, Joe, one day you will go to school and you'll get an MBA. You'll get that MBA that you want. But only to figure out why you have been so successful. I'm 6 years old, 1983. It's a beautiful spring afternoon. It's the beautiful blue sky. I'm playing on this rusty old red painted swing set with my friends. And I grew up in rural Ontario where it's a beautiful rolling countryside. And I looked to the horizon and the rolling hills, the fresh crops that were growing was in the spring. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, I want to be just like my dad. I want to be a farmer, and I want to farm all of that land. I want all of this land to be mine. And I had this dream of being a farmer. My father was a farmer. My father was also the smartest person I'd ever met. I remember one day we were cleaning eavesdrops. He called me up. I was holding a ladder, and he was cleaning up the eavesdrops. And he said, Jay, I can say the alphabet in 3 words. Like, oh, that's why I love you, Dad. Right around that same part of the spring, my mother called me into the bathroom. And you only get, I'm one of 7 kids, and you only get called into her bathroom if you're in trouble. You're only ever called into that bathroom because there's no privacy in our house. We grew up in this stone farmhouse, and there's no privacy. We were 3 of us sharing a bedroom. My mother called me into this bathroom, closed the door. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. Heart racing. What did I do now? She said, Jason, you're a misfit. There's something wrong with you. You know that, right? You're not like the other boys. You're not like the other kids. But don't worry, when you're 9 years old, Jason, when you're 9 years old, we're going to go see Dr. Geiger. He wants to see you when you're 9. This is how she spoke. He wants to see you when you're 9. June came, my 7th birthday. Terrified. Terrified to be 1 year older, 1 year closer to 9 years old. 1986. That year is burned into my brain because I was terrified for that year to come. And on my 9th birthday, instead of anticipating and being excited for all of my friends to come and to come to my pool party and to eat my favorite cake, German chocolate cake with the extra thick icing like my mom made, to have my Cool Ranch Doritos and my nacho cheese Doritos that I was obsessed with, and drink Pepsi Max and eat popcorn and just sit around our big dining room table and be the center of their attention and to take all of their gifts. And I just wanted to cry. And I did cry. I did not want to be 9 years old. I left my party. I walked up to the front yard. And we grew up on this big farm at 3 acres of grass. I remember standing in the middle of the front yard. There's the pool. Here's the house with all my friends in it. Laughing, joking, drinking Pepsi Max and eating Doritos and enjoying my chocolate cake. My stomach is in a knot. I remember looking up the dirt road. And I went to this position right here. And I've never felt that alone. And I made an agreement with myself that day that I do not fit in. I'm different. There's something wrong with me. And no one will ever accept me. We went to play baseball. My favorite sport was baseball as a kid growing up, and all of the other kids were able to run and track down that fly ball with one hand. It made it look so effortless. Catch it, diving catches, sliding to their knees, making it look easy. I couldn't fucking track the fly ball. And on my birthday, we're playing, and I dreaded playing left field because most of the kids batted right hand and the fly balls all went to left field. And if you took the left field position, that meant you had to track down those fly balls. And on my birthday, as I went to track this fly ball, it skipped off the edge of my glove and hit me in the forehead. I was so disgusted with myself for being a misfit. For being not even second best, not even third best. In fact, the following year at the end of school year, I grew up in this tiny little farm community, and there was literally 25 kids between 1st and 8th grade. Literally, there were 3 kids in my class. And we had Summer Olympics at the closing day of every year, where we would play games. Red Rover, we'd play tag football, we'd play volleyball, we would play all these different games. We'd have races, sprints, or sprint around the farm, all these different things. At the end of Summer Olympics, in 1986, I was the only kid in our school who hadn't won something. Further proof that I'm a failure, that I'm a misfit. And to make it even worse, my teacher, there was this table, this black tablecloth covering this table, but it had all these little trinkets, which were the gifts, the prizes. There was one left, and it was mine, but I didn't win it. I hadn't won it. I hadn't earned it. Like all the other kids who were off playing with their little trinkets that they had won. And Mrs. Carews, my teacher, came over and she picked up the toy off of the table and handed it to me, and she said, "Here you go, this is for you." The only thing worse than feeling like a loser is to have somebody validate it, but giving you something that you yourself don't feel like you deserve. And in that moment, I made the decision with myself that I would work harder, I would work longer, I would work smarter. I would leave the sweat on the field and the tears in my pillow and the blood on the stage of my life so that I could prove to every goddamn kid in my school that I was not a failure.